Hello, we are going live for our Wednesday morning 10 to 10. Thanks for joining us today. You've got Lisa and I here. We've got the CEO and COO, and we know that there's a lot of chatter going on about AI and how are people using AI for business? How are we developing, evolving, changing, testing? And what we wanted to talk about a little bit is the operational side of AI within the business and not just the cool things that AI can do, because I think there's a lot of conversations about that out there already. So you've got the CEO and COO coming at it from kind of a different vantage point as to how it's impacting our business and not just the tools that we're using, because we're actually not going to talk a lot about the tools. If you want to know them, we can talk about them. But we're really going to talk more today about what is the structure within the organization to implement AI? What is our approach to it, and what are some of the outcomes? So, by all means, this is a conversation. If you've got questions that you want to ask us, if there's things that you're doing that you're finding are working well, we want to hear about that too. So please feel free to chime in. You can add a comment at any point in whatever live stream you're joining us from, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and we'll do our best to respond to those in the time we have. And if not, we will follow up afterwards.
Yeah. So as Korena said, we're kind of focused on how are we balancing having guardrails in place with giving our team flexibility and freedom to experiment and innovate, because that's what our team does really, really well. So I thought I would start out with, admittedly, probably the boring stuff, but what sort of policies have we put in place to make sure that we do have those guardrails where we need them? It's not as glamorous, it's not as fun, but it is definitely an essential part of this transformation that we've been trying to push our company forward through. So our number one goal with all of the policies that we've developed is to have guardrails in place, but then again, have that freedom and flexibility to experiment for our team so that they can innovate and redefine the way that we do our work. The first thing we did, and this was almost 2 years ago, back in August of 2023, we created an AI use committee, and we made sure that we had representation from each of our internal function teams on the AI use committee. And then that committee drafted our very first employee AI use policy. It's about a 5-page document. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details, but it's not overly long. We wanted it to provide broad expectations for our team and how they used AI. For instance, we wanted to make sure that nobody was sharing sensitive data in their use of AI, that we were respecting copyright, that we had some other important safeguards in place. We also review this policy on a quarterly basis because the landscape changes so fast. What we wrote in 2023 is not going to stand the test of time. We needed to have something in place to keep it updated. At the same time that we were rolling out our very first AI use policy, we also started to include an AI use disclaimer for our clients, or rather, a disclosure for our clients. And this disclosure is in every one of our client contracts. It provides transparency both on how our team here at KeyMedia uses AI, but it also identifies places where the AI is in place, but it's a little outside of our control because it's already built into platforms and tools that we use on a regular basis as we're carrying out client work. We felt like that was important to let our clients know as well. So all of that has been in place for about the past 2 years. The more recent evolution is starting this year. We started vetting ChatGPT as a general purpose tool that we thought would benefit our whole entire team. And so our leadership team vetted it from January through May, and then we rolled it out to all full-time employees last month in June. With that rollout, we wanted to have a specific policy in place for ChatGPT. And so we've got that up on the screen. It's, again, a fairly short document. It's about 2 to 3 pages long. And it identifies just some key guardrails that we want to make sure that our team is following. Again, guardrails in place so that the team can then have freedom to experiment and innovate. Our policy emphasizes the safe use of anonymized data. It makes mandatory human review of any sort of work product that we are integrating ChatGPT into. And we adopted a golden rule, which was to treat ChatGPT like an external contractor. If you wouldn't share this information with an external contractor before you got a non-disclosure agreement in place, we don't want that shared with ChatGPT. So those are the core policies that we put in place. And as a quick aside, we did actually use ChatGPT to help write the ChatGPT policy, and that definitely expedited things.
It did. And there's actually a lot of different uses. We'll get into that a little bit more. But so then it was the fun part. Like, we've got some of the guardrails in place. Now we really wanted to, we were going to invest as a company in getting everybody subscription to a ChatGPT 4. And we really wanted people to use it and make it part of their daily activities and really start to implement it. So the next step is I use ChatGPT, but we did a 30-day prompt. And we did a task for every employee in the company that was just a 10-minute task every day it was about a 5-week time period. And they were meant to be just quick hits to build confidence in what the capabilities are, but also build the habit of going into and logging into ChatGPT every day. Because if we're going to pay for it, we want it to be used, and we want it to be used well. So with reminders of the guardrails, we just developed this 30-day protocol. And really that first week was just getting comfortable. And then it was about how can we apply it to our specific roles within our organization. And then it's how can we have a little fun with it. In fact, I think this week everybody has their task is to create a meme and share that meme across the company. So we wanted it to be fun and engaging, but we really wanted it to build confidence for everybody that was using it, and being able to feel comfortable with some of the capabilities. And what we found is that even our employees who were pretty regular users of some sort of AI tool, whether it was Copilot or Chat or Claude, really even had some eye-opening experiences that, like, I didn't realize I could do this. I didn't realize it could help me with this. We've got one employee who's now calling it her boyfriend, and she has regular conversations with him every single day about all aspects of life. From coaching to ideation to problem solving to I even used it for this to do a simulation. Like, what is our listeners going to think of the topic, and do we need to adjust the topic? Are we missing any critical points? We can use it for A/B testing. I mean, like, there's all these different things that we can use it for. So that was really our first plan in making sure all of our team is really comfortable with the tools that we were empowering them to use. The second thing that we did is we also held an AI learning lab. Lisa and I had an opportunity to attend an extended workshop on just different AI tools for businesses, organization, efficiency, structure, things like that. And there was a couple of tools within that we really felt were super valuable, and we started using pretty regularly. So we did a learning lab within our organization for our employees, where we shared those tools that we were using, how we were using them, giving them ideas on how they could potentially use it on a regular basis, and start to implement some of these things in their activities. And again, we had one employee after that saying, I wish I had this morning because I don't think ChatGPT was being honest with me, and I wanted to get a different viewpoint, a broader sampling of data. And so most of our team has implemented many of these tools that we introduced in the Learning Lab. The other things that we're doing internally, just to get our team comfortable with the transition into going from, non-AI resources to really being an AI emergent organization, is we've had employee-led lunches where different groups or different employees have, like, we're all going to go to lunch and we're just going to talk about what we're learning, what we're seeing, what we're reading, what we're playing with, things that we're doing within this, so that we can also cross-pollinate data amongst the team themselves. And then we've got, we're doing just ongoing collaborations where we're doing chat swaps, and we're starting to create the chat library and the prompt library, so that we're creating some consistency, but also sharing, like, this worked really well and we got a great result when we did this, or when I put this in there, or I did this series of prompts. And so building up that collaboration, and even now we've got a Monday huddle where we do a quick stand up. And every week, what did you do last week that was a success? What did you learn? What was one way that you found an efficiency using an AI tool in your daily task load? And so we've got a lot of excitement building for how we can utilize some of these tools that are becoming available today within the guardrails that we've established for our organization.
Yeah. And the other kind of challenge that we had to face was just coming to terms with that this is an ever-changing landscape. We're never gonna have all the answers before we take that first step. And so we just need to go on it. And the answer for us for that particular challenge was to try to develop some scalable systems. And the approach there is to include initial oversight. Those are those guardrails that we keep talking about. Make sure that we're tracking our progress. We know how it's going. We have a measure of that, and we're documenting our use of AI. And then make sure that we're planning for the future. And some of that is all of those learning opportunities that Korena just highlighted, as well as identifying things that we know we need to put in place to have a more robust AI presence in our regular workflow. We know we need to keep developing a prompt library. We know we should be exploring some custom GPTs that will be trained on our internal documents to allow us to automate repeatable tasks, but we can also trace what we've done and the impact that it's already having on our team by tracking progress. So we've started doing some micro surveys. They're very short. They go out every 2 weeks since we onboarded the team into ChatGPT. And we are learning that 100% of our team in those first 2 weeks were using ChatGPT most work days. 55% of our team was using it multiple times every single work day. We also had our team estimate what impact is this having, and they shared with us that collectively we're looking at over 25 hours estimated savings in just 2 weeks by using ChatGPT. And the way we're encouraging our team to use ChatGPT is AI assistance for organization, for clarity, for refinement. And the impact that it's having on our team is it frees them up for more time to spend on strategy, on insights, on developing concepts, delivering high quality client services. So it's been a real game changer. We've built up excitement about it while having some important policies and guidelines in place with it.
Yeah, and it really is driving that cultural shift within our organization. That is, what we're talking about, it's empowering the team to think differently about how they're approaching their job. And really, AI within our organization is not, it's kind of our co-pilot. I know marketing AI talks about a co-CEO, and I really want to experiment with that. I haven't done it yet, but I think I will. But it's not a replacement for who we are and what we do and the people that we have, but it's really about making us better. It's about making us stronger. It's about finding opportunities to offload some of the tasks, those repetitive tasks that we really don't enjoy doing anyway, and just really take a lot of time to find that capability to think more strategically, to find deeper insights, build stronger relationships, and get better outcomes for our clients and more strategic insights and analysis and things that we're really good at and super passionate about. And so we're finding now that our team are really starting to become prompt curious. Like, they really want to learn more. They want to try new things. They want to experiment. They're sharing ideas across the team, and they're really ready to jump in. And this is just rippling across everybody in the organization, everything we're doing. And in fact, our clients are picking up on this because we're talking to our clients about what we're doing. And we're sharing with them how and why we're using AI and how it's assisted us in whether it's, organizing a thought or proofreading or coming up with different ideas and brainstorming some collaborative pieces. So our clients are starting to become curious and starting to follow suit and figuring out, like, how can we better use the tools that are out there? And again, we chose ChatGPT as kind of our internal solution. We evaluated a few other ones and just felt that that one was the right one for us. There's a bunch of them out there. I mean, there's Claude, there's Copilot, there's Perplexity. They all have different strengths and weaknesses. So for each organization, it's going to be a little bit different. You need to do that work yourself. But we're happy to share everything that we've learned, the tools that we are using, the resources. In fact, if you would like a copy of kind of our internal policies and guidelines that we've established, we'd be more than happy to share that with you. Drop a note in the chat or direct message one of us, and we'd be happy to share that with you because we really believe this is a game changer.
Yeah, so for us, taking this step and really embracing AI and becoming an AI forward organization has created clarity. It's created community around it. As Korena said, it's been a game changer. So if you have any input for us that you'd like to share, please drop it in the chat.
Yeah. And thanks for joining us today. We'll be back next week at 10. Well, not Lisa and I. Somebody will be back next week, Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Join us then. Take care.